Hey guys, Freedom Voice here. I want to do a video on something that happened just yesterday on the freeway. I get a lot of stalking and gang stalking on the freeway when I drive because I drive a lot. So this is Saturday, February 7th in Los Angeles, California. I want you to notice here as I'm driving on the freeway. I want you to particularly notice the cars in front. You're going to see three attempts for an accident here. Notice the BMW making a lane change to the left from the number 2 to the number 1 lane. It's in front of the Pathfinder. This BMW is going to try to set me up, box me in, and cause an accident. And you'll see it here in just a minute. What he starts doing now is he basically slows up so that the Pathfinder has to change lanes to the right. So the Pathfinder moves out of the number 2 lane that I'm in, moves to the number 3 lane to the right, and that exposes me to the BMW, the black BMW, which is in front. You'll notice that he starts slowing up. You can clearly see that he's slowing up, and he's doing that so that I would catch up to him. And as he slows up, I attempt to make a lane change to the number 1 lane to the left. Immediately, he makes a lane change in front of me, blocking me in, and essentially trying to cause an accident. You'll notice that the bumper is dented on both the right and the left side. And I want to just show you that again. As soon as I try to make that lane change to the number 1 lane, to the left lane, you'll notice that he also makes a lane change. I then go back to the number 2 lane and I attempt to try to pass him up because he is going slow, and you can see how slow he's going. So I try to make that pass, but he starts speeding up, and there's only a short distance between myself and this car in front of me, at which time he would speed up and he would cut me off in the number 2 lane. You'll see him pass here in the number 1 lane. There he is passing, which left me no result but to just basically get behind him again. Now, just to let you know and to confirm that this is gang stalking, again, this is accident attempt number 1, but to let you know that this is in fact gang stalking, I want you to notice as he steps on his brake, you're going to notice one brake light out. I've done many videos on this before. The one brake light out, obvious sign that it's gang stalking. They have to have a way to identify themselves repetitively with gang stalking, and you can see that left brake light out when he applies the brakes there. So this is attempt number 1. Now you're going to see 2 more attempts this day on Saturday as I was driving the freeway. But I want you to notice how he's driving slow as well. All right, this would be attempt number 2. Again, this is shortly after that first attempt. You'll notice I'm in the number 1 lane. You'll notice that there's a white Jetta next to me, and the white Jetta has a dented front left bumper. You can see that 3/4 panel as well as that right bumper or left bumper is dented. That's the license number. But I want you to notice what's going to happen here. Again, he applies brakes. The driver applies the brake, and they do that to box me in. Now I want to show you a better view of it. You can see that Jetta to the right. You can see a gray car in front of me. Notice the gray car slowing up. Jetta slowing up also, boxing me in. And then finally they let me go. Now I want to show you one more time. And I want to show you where that gray car came from. You'll notice the gray car is over in the number 3 lane. I'm going to zoom in and so you can see that gray car in the number 3 lane. Notice that gray car, and you'll see him make a lane change over from the number 3. He's in the number 2. Now he moves to the number 1 lane. Now he's in front of me. And this is how you know they set this up. It's kind of like street theater. They're setting it up for the purpose of creating an accident or creating a conflict or even getting a reaction out of me. Notice The Jetta applies brakes. There's nobody in front of the Jetta. No reason for him to apply brakes, but he applies brakes specifically to box me in. And notice they have me boxed in. There's no way I can go. I can't go to the left, can't go to the right. Finally, the gray car in front speeds up a little bit. Now, when the gray car speeds up a little bit, I then make a lane change to get from behind the gray car. That was accident attempt number 2. Another thing I want to show you, I want you to understand that all around a person, when they're gang stalked, all around them, you will find agents working together. That's why we call it gang stalking. There are people in other cars, and I want to show you that and prove that to you. Notice the black car all the way over to the right over there. You see that black car. That black car is also part of it. And I want you to notice what he does. As soon as I did not have the accident with the gray car, he then moves in position to try another attempt. This is the black car. As I come out from under the tunnel, see the black car coming from the number 3 lane on the right to the number 2 lane. And then from the number 2 lane, you can see he's applying brakes now because he's trying to wait until I catch up to him. So he's applying brakes, waiting for me to catch up. He's in the number 2 lane. By this time, I can see him. I know what's going on. I know what's happening. And now he's going to move from the number 2 lane into the number 1 lane in front of me. So he then makes that lane change when we come out from under the tunnel. He makes that lane change into the number 1 lane in front of me. At this point, I knew what was happening. I had already had 2 attempts, so I just slowed way back. I slowed way back. Now, I want you to notice another agent. Notice the white truck in the right side over there with the gray tailgate. The white truck with the gray tailgate. See, they're all working together, and I'm going to prove that to you. I want you to notice what happens from my rear camera. This is the white truck approaching. The black car is in front of me trying to bait me into an accident. The gray truck waits his turn. You can see it over there in the number 3 lane waiting. Then he moves up, and he moves up to the right. The black car, as I'm slowing up, the black car goes on. Now watch the white truck with the gray tailgate. You know, they try, if one agent doesn't work, immediately another agent will move in position to try to get it to work. Notice he's going to go from the number 3 lane. He's going to move into the number 1 lane in front of me, right? And I saw him as well. So I slowed up again, and he moves on. But they have others as well. I mean, they've got, when you're out driving on the road, like for me, and I see this all the time, there are many agents. Here's another one. Moving from the number 3 lane to the number 1 lane, they always try to box you in and create an accident. This car, I want to show you where this car came from. Again, 2 of them just passed. You know, they try to use plausible deniability. If you slow down, they take off as if to say, we were not doing what you thought we were doing. But notice my rear camera here. You can see that car coming up from the number 3 lane. It goes to the number 2 lane. Now it's in the number 1 lane behind me. Notice it's behind me. It went from the number 3 lane to the number 1 lane. Now watch it go back over to the number 3 lane. Notice they're not even using their blinkers. That's another thing, friends. They don't use any blinkers. They just speed and go from one lane to the other really fast. Notice he's going to the number 1 lane, and he then makes a pass. And you can see him over in my front camera now. He's over in that number 3 lane, and he's got to try to get in front of me, right? This is the 3rd attempt, or the 3rd fail attempt. Now he's going to cut off this car next to me because he's going to try to get in front of me. So makes a lane change to the left. The car next to me has to slam on brakes. And then he moves into the number 2 lane. And from the number 2 lane, he then moves into the number 1 lane in front of me. And he tries to make it look plausibly deniable by using a blinker as if I don't see him. And I didn't see him until I started watching these videos. So now he's in front of me. I saw him at this point. I slowed up again. Friends, this happens every day. That's the reason why I know it. That's why I can call it, because I see it over and over and over again. And, they use the same tactics. I'm sure they're going to watch this video and they'll probably change up their tactics a little bit. But this is what they do to try to create an incident on the highway, on the roadway. This is gang stalking. You can see there were at least 6 people in different cars working together. Now, here's another incident, same day, but this is at nighttime. This is in Redondo Beach, California, different city, same day, nighttime. Again, February 7th, same day. Now, as I approach this red light, this light's going to turn green. And you'll notice the light turns green right now. When that light turns green, as I take off, notice the car in the number 2 lane making a lane change to the number 3 lane in front of me, way up in front. You can see it. I have it in slow motion. He goes to the number 3 and then to the number 4. Now I want to show you again. Notice his blinker is on, number 2 lane. He changes lanes in front of me into the number 3 lane, then to the number 4 lane. And now that he's in the number 4 lane, I'm approaching in the number 3 lane. And then he sort of looks as though he wants to go back to the number 3 lane. This is accident attempt number 3. Very clear example of an accident attempt here. And I want to just kind of show you that just so that you can see and understand what I'm saying. You'll notice as I approach, as soon as I get right there, he makes a lane change right into my lane, the number 3 lane. Notice his right turn blinker is still on. That lets me know that they're reacting to me. They're not, this is not just an incidental lane change from someone out in public. This is gang stalking. This is a very obvious sign to try to create an incident on the roadway. Notice he makes that lane change in front of me, right turn blinker still on. And as we're sitting at the light there, I want you to notice something here. All of these cars, these accident attempts, all 3 of them on this day, February 7th, Saturday, notice they have a dent on the bumper. This is a Tesla, gray Tesla. You can see the dented bumper. And I want to just kind of zoom in so you can really see that. As we took off from the light there, he's going to sort of fake going right. Notice he fakes going right here, and I'm still trying to go straight. And he knows I'm going straight, so he'll fake right so that I can get close enough, and then he'll slam on brakes. He slams on brakes and goes back left, trying to create an accident. Notice that dent on the bumper. Notice he steps on the brakes. And then he goes off into the median there as if to say, I ran him on. What he was trying to do was create an accident. You can see my rear camera. As I pass him up to the rear, you can see him on the far left right there on the median side. And it's hard to tell, but an accident didn't happen. I didn't have an accident. So he gets back on the freeway and keeps going. Again, this is street theater, gang stalking, classic example of perps boxing in targeted individuals, gang stalking them, trying to intimidate them. Now, I want to show you that same footage again, but on my rear camera. I want to show you how there are other people around me doing the same thing. Notice this car goes from the number 1 lane to the number 3, and then goes back over to the number 1 lane. See, they're all working together, guys. This is behind me. Now, my front camera would show the Tesla, but my rear camera is showing these cars jockeying for position to try to get to a point where they can either create the box in or create the accident. And then I believe some of them are actually recording it. so that they can obviously frame me for having an accident. Notice the car here. You can see the car went from the number 3 to the number 2 to the number 1 and then back again. Now he's coming from the number 1 again, back over to the number 3 behind me. And if you saw my front camera, you would know I'm behind the Tesla now. They're both getting behind me now, and I believe they're recording or something. But they're all working together, friends. They're all working together. This is gang stalking. This is how it happens to targeted individuals on the roadway. Very common for this to go on. That's the reason why I see it. I recognize it. I can call it. Now, let me show you that gray Tesla again. You can see the license plate number there. You can clearly see when we take off from the light there, either you could junction to the right or you could keep straight. He fakes, goes right, then goes back left and slams on his brake, right? And you can see that dent on the 3/4 panel and the bumper. If there were any contact at all between my truck and this Tesla, they would have blamed me for this dent and everything else. Very obvious accident attempt here, right? And this goes on again. 3 incidents happened that day. There were 3 failed attempts, and there were 3 attempts that obviously I got on camera. That's the reason why I said, friends, keep a dash cam, keep a camera. This goes on every day. I'm just recording it, just making a video, but this happens a lot. And I thought I'd show you this so that you can be aware of what's going on. Until next time, take care.